Hey guys, Chris from Hockey Tutorial, and today what I thought I'd do is just show you a quick video of what I think is the best skates of 2012. Of course, if you think otherwise, please feel free to comment and let me know what you think the best skates of this year are. But let's get started and I'll show you which skates I think have definitely been this year's best. So if I open the box up so we can take a look at the skates inside, the main reason that I like these skates is I'm sure a lot of you are aware that these Reebok White Ks are a mashup of the Reebok 12 Ks and the 14 Ks. So they've kind of taken good bits from these two different boots and mashed them into one design, which has probably resulted in one of the best skates that Reebok have made in terms of value for money. So what we're going to do is take a look at the overall structure of the skate, take a look at why I think it's the best skate, and also just give you some feedback on how the skate performs. So why I think that these skates are probably the best skates of 2012 for intermediate skaters and hockey players, and also of course value for money, is just the overall design and the kind of features that they've added to these skates. The Reebok White K's feature a Max Armor 5 in the quarter package, taking a look at the overall structure of the boot, which is pretty much a lightweight quarter package which has strategically reinforced embedded zones to protect the foot while you're on the ice in case of sort of puck shots, stick slashes, that kind of thing. And it also provides an incredibly light structure which is incredibly stable, supportive, and of course offers you a great amount of durability. So these skates are the sort of thing that are going to last, which also ties into the sort of value for money point overall. But one of the other things that I really like about this quarter package is that they've added abrasion resistant zones near the forefoot area. So basically, again, sort of adding to the reinforcement factor to these skates. You know that your feet are going to be safe inside these, and they're not an incredibly soft quarter package that's going to take a puck right there and you're going to feel it really painfully in your foot. But if you're a skater, of course, again, it means that you're going to be able to skate on these for quite a long period of time without them deteriorating or breaking down, which of course is definitely something that any skater is going to want to invest in, a pair of skates that are going to last. Moving on from there, another thing that I like is the fact that they've added a lot of flexion zones to these skates. What that means is that there's different points of this quarter package that allow a bit of flexion, a bit of flexibility in movement, which sort of gives you energy return. So when you put a lot of energy into the skate to drive you forward, it returns some of that energy back to you, creating an almost spring-like effect to propel you on the ice, which is quite nice. So it means that these skates are going to be nice and responsive, which is definitely a plus. Taking a look at the spine of these skates also features a sort of a support system that's been added to the skates to support your Achilles heel, and the tendon guard over there is also reinforced, so you're getting a nice amount of support and durability with these skates, which is again something that I really like about them. So taking a look inside the liner of the skate, Reebok have fitted this with a microfiber liner, which of course is moisture managing or moisture wicking material, so it'll try to keep the skates sort of smelling fresh and reduce any moisture inside the skates and filter them out through the perforations or holes that are at the base of the skate. But also what I like about this microfiber liner is that it is fairly long lasting and quite durable, so the skates will last a decent amount of time, which again ties into the value for money, which is one of the things I like about these. If you look inside the skate, you can see that I have replaced the footbeds. The footbeds that you get with the Reebok White K standardly are these ones over here, but you can see I've replaced them with the Superfeet footbeds. If you want to see a review of the Superfeet and why they're recommended, there'll be a link in the video description, but it's a much better footbed. And while we're taking a look inside the skate, you can see that these are a D width, 8.5 size, 8.5 US size, or a UK 9. I've gone for a D width because personally I found these skates to be quite wide fitting. Normally I go for an E or a double E, but the D has actually sort of proved to fit me quite nicely. If I'd gone for an E or a double E in these skates, which is pretty much impossible to get in the UK, it would have been probably a bit too wide, so that's another thing to keep in mind. I definitely recommend trying these skates on before buying them because they do fit quite widely, and that's another reason I've popped the Superfeet in there, because it sort of just helps to improve the overall comfort of the skate. So these being Reebok Pump skates, as I'm sure you guys are well aware, of course they're going to feature the pump lock system. One thing that they've done that's slightly different to some of the other skates, they've moved the location of the pump a couple millimeters back, just to give you a slightly more comfortable fit, and also to just put the pump slightly out of harm's way, because these sort of areas over here are quite common for puck shots, so it just helps the overall durability of the skate. But what the pump system does, if you're a bit unsure of it, it just increases the comfort and performance of the skate by giving you a much more suitable or guaranteed level of heel lock and ankle support. A common problem with skates is that once your foot is inside the skate, if your heel kind of bobs up and down as you're inside the skate, that's wasted energy, so all of the motion or movement from your feet inside the skate isn't going to be translated onto the blade, which doesn't give you a responsive skate. But by introducing the pump system that keeps your foot and your ankle locked into the position that you enter the skate in, it kind of guarantees sort of your performance and your comfort, as well as being able to keep your feet in the exact same place to improve your overall energy transfer inside these skates. So the pumps are definitely a feature that I like. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I usually use the MLX skates. These are actually my Reebok Pump White Ks, which is just sort of letting you know how good these skates are, that I've actually moved from MLX to these skates over here. The pump feature definitely locked my feet in place, which is quite nice. Another thing that I really love about these boots is going to be the lace locking system. As I'm sure a lot of you know, that I've done quite a few videos on how a skate should probably be fitted. Some people like their skates loose. A lot of people try to sort of tie their skates in different sort of tightness zones. So the front forefoot area, they like to be quite tight, but the ankle area, they like it to be quite loose. This is how I like my skates to be. I love to have a tight sort of forefoot area, and then the top around the ankle, I like that to be incredibly loose, so my ankle can flex back and forth the way it should. And with the lace locking system, it allows you to have two different zones of the skates, laces tied to two different styles or proportions, if you like. So you can have the base over there nice and tight, then you lock the lace into position so the laces cannot move and the base stays as tight as you like it, and then you can do whatever you want with the top section, leave them completely undone or leave them loose. So that's really, really great, and it's another feature that I definitely love about this. So you might hear me talk about range of motion a lot in terms of the skate, and that's just the ability for your ankle to be able to move and flex forward and backwards as it should while you're inside a pair of skates. And one of the things that I really like about this tongue, the back portion of the tongue over here is just a standard white felt, so it's a nice traditional feel, something that we're all used to. Pretty much all the ice hockey skates on the market use that. But in terms of the lace bite bar, what I like that they've done with these Reebok skates, if I just turn this around so you can see the front of it, you can see that the lace bite bar has been set out into different segments. Instead of it being one solid piece of plastic or foam, it's been split down into these different segments. So what that allows is for your foot to be able to still flex forward regardless of how strong or stiff the lace bite bar is. If it was just one solid piece, the tongue wouldn't be able to bend and flex forward, which would restrict you while you're on the ice. But it's one of the reasons that I like these skates, because one of the things that I like to take advantage of while I'm on the ice is tight turns and agility, and these skates help me to be able to sort of utilize those skills properly, which is one of the reasons that I really do rate these skates, and another reason why I've picked them up. And these are actually the skates I'm going to be using for the next few videos, as I'm sure you guys will notice. So of course, turning the skate upside down to take a look at what sort of outsole you get with these ones over here. Reebok give you with these ones a vented, lightweight, low profile fiberglass composite outsole, so you know it's going to be a nice rigid and responsive outsole. And what they're saying that this one does, it is vented in the sense that it has these perforations to filter any moisture out the skate, like we mentioned earlier on when we were talking about the liner. But what they're saying with this new sort of style of outsole that they give you is that these outsoles are going to be able to increase the sort of torsional rigidity of the skate. In other words, sort of just summarizing that, is that these skates are going to be incredibly responsive. They're going to give you a snapping response while you're on the ice. So they're going to be incredibly sort of reactive to what you do inside the skate, which is definitely something that we like. And these outsoles are going to also sort of maximize on your energy transfer while you're using these boots. So these are some of the reasons that I really, really like this skate. Hopefully some of you guys will be able to try this out, and I'm sure a lot of you do have this skate, so please feel free to post any comments down below in the video section to let me know what you guys thought of these skates. If you've got them, if you're thinking about getting them, just let me know what you think of the overall design, and if you've got them, of course, please give me some feedback on what you personally think of them. But the last point that we're going to come to is the holder and the blade. I do like the holder. This is the standard Reebok E Pro holder that's found on pretty much all of their skates. Same holder that's found on the mid-range to top-range CCM skates, important to mention. And also the same blade. This is just the Performance 10 Light Stainless with a scallop design, you can see there, which is these cutouts over here. For hockey players, I don't really recommend the scallop design blade, purely because I've heard a lot of reports from hockey players, and I've experienced this myself, is if you take a puck to the blade, it will just snap because there's a lot less of it, so it's not as strong. Although this scallop design lightens the blade up, as I'm sure a lot of you know, the skates are built up of loads of different parts, but the single heaviest part of any skate is always the blade. So this scallop design does help to reduce the weight of the overall boot, so that's a plus. But in terms of the weight, I've gone for the MLX skates, which are slightly heavier than these, so these are a bonus regardless of if it had that scallop design or not. And as you can see, it also features those little bolts there, so if you do snap the blade, for hockey players out there, if the blade does snap, you can simply replace it. Quick point to mention is that the Bauer skates, or the mid-range Bauer skates and the top-end Bauer skates, this is excluding the Bauer APX Skate 2, which is coming out later on in 2013. Those skates don't feature these bolts on the side, so if your blade snaps, you have to go into the skate. You have to go through the hole, which is at the bottom of the skate's sole, and if it doesn't have a hole, you have to actually drill a hole into the boot to be able to remove and change the blade out, which is ridiculous. And Bauer are probably going to come up with something later on, as I've heard they're introducing a blade that you can snap off on and off quite easily with the APX 2, so that's something to look out for. But in terms of these skates, really, really great skates. Let me know what you think of them, guys, and this is Chris from Hockey Tutorial. Feel free to comment and subscribe to let me know what you think of these boots, and also to stay tuned for the latest videos that are going to be coming out. Take care till next time, guys.